The world of fancasting is a treacherous one. It's filled with hopes, dreams, and often fueled simply by hype and aura. Usually, or at least today, fancasting is prominent within the build up for the big two live action adaptations, where whoever is the big star at the time is everyone's first choice, regardless of if they fit the character. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But there is a medium that you don't see get fancasted a lot, and that's animation. And there's an IP that I think is primed for it. Of course, it's. Now, before we start, I love the Transformers, but I'm still making my way through the comics and I'm no lore expert. I'm also not a casting director, but I thought this would be a fun little video to do. So we have 12 Autobots that I've casted and I've picked a preferred vehicle mode for. So you've been sitting here long enough, let's get into it. So at first we have Hot Rod, who to me is like the heart and soul of the future of the Autobots and of Cybertron. The comics I'm reading currently, he's kind of like the golden boy of the team, the future pick, if you will, to be next up. So he needed a voice actor who can portray that, who can portray a wide range of complex emotions and still be present in the scene. And for me, that is Alex Lee, who's the star currently within the voice acting, I guess, realm, if you will. You definitely heard him before. He's Daredevil, Invincible in the games, specifically the main character in Solo Leveling, which I haven't watched. Don't sue me. Yeah, I think his voice would fit for somebody like Hot Rod. Now for the vehicle mode, I picked the Corvette C8. You know, Hot Rod, per his name, needs something sporty, trendy, but these are still robots in the sky, so something you would actually see on the street. Nothing like a lamb or anything like that. So something relevant, sporty, but also common, if you will. Next up is Jazz. So Jazz to me is like the glue guy with a love of people. Excuse me. I've seen fan art in different conversations where they paint Jazz as like a sociologist, which that actually got me into sociology, funny enough. But he's the guy with the voice of gold and just a love for people in general. For my pick for Jazz, I picked Gabe Kunda, who you might have heard as Blade in Marvel Rivals. He also streams. You've definitely heard his voice. Perfect for Jazz, in my opinion. And for the vehicle mode, I'm going an Acura TLX. Something sporty, something smooth, stylish, something that you don't see too often. I'll leave it at that. Next up, I got Chromia, who admittedly I don't know much about. I'm just kind of learning about this character, but from what I've seen, the little I have seen, she's kind of like this rough around the edges but loyal character. I think they have her as a wrecker, I'm not sure, and a sniper. So whenever I see her character, I imagine like this raspiness to her voice. And the voice actor that came to mind is actually Stephanie Limlin, who voices Artemis in Young Justice. That's always what I remember her from. And she always has this like raspiness to her voice that I think fits for a character like this, who to me is a lot similar to Artemis. Granted, don't know a whole bunch. For the vehicle mode, I picked the BMW 430i coupe specifically. Now I know she's technically one of the RC sisters, but when I look at her vehicle mode, I see a bigger vehicle. I don't think a bike fits her from what I know. So I wanted to go something smaller, sporty, fast, that just wasn't a bike. And she's not the only sister who's not a bike on this list. I'll leave it at that. Next up, we got Alita 1. So Alita 1 is like the co-lead. She's right next to Optimus. She levels out Optimus in a lot of ways. She balances him out. Here's another thing I should mention. I actually haven't read the Skybound comics yet, so take that into account while you're listening to the list. But from what I've heard, she's a big part of that story, and she's also a balance for Optimus in that story, from what I've heard. So I wanted someone with a presence. I'm picking I want to say her name right. Give me just a second. Hold on. Daenerys Kionis, I believe is how you say her name. Her voice is perfect from what I've heard when I was doing my research. I don't think I've seen many shows that she's been in, but the clips I have seen, um, I think her voice is perfect for Alita 1. Now, for the vehicle mode, I picked the Audi e-tron GT for the same reason I picked a coupe for Chromia. I just see a bigger vehicle for those two in general. Next up, we have Bumblebee. So Bumblebee is like the previous poster child. He's what he is what Hot Rod is portrayed as in the comics I'm reading, which are some of the IDW stuff, which I'll get to in another video. But yeah, he's the 2000s kids Hot Rod, if you will. To me, he should have a voice, a more distinct one. I picked Najee Jeter, who you definitely have heard as Miles Morales, Spider-Man, in the Insomniac games and in some of the Disney XD shows. But if you've heard Najee actually speak outside of the Miles voice, that's the voice I imagine for Bumblebee. Something a tad bit deeper than the Key voice that was in Transformers 1. Something younger, more distinct. Now for the vehicle, I'm not going Camaro. I'm not going to go typical. I'm going to go the Cadillac Blackwing. Something that's still American muscle, but something different. I just wanted a different pick. Next up, we have Ironhide. So Ironhide is like your old school, rough around the edges, very not unprofessional, but very laid back, but still stern. So for Ironhide, I went Christopher Judge. Now everybody knows Christopher Judge as Kratos, but some of his other works, he has a lighter pitch to his voice where the resonant is still lower, that I think would be perfect for Ironhide. And for the vehicle mode, you can go GMC, Chevy, truck, whatever, but I picked a lifted Ford Bronco, something boxier that's more reminiscent of that old design, but still has that modern touch of big, bulky American trucks, you know. Next, I have Ratchet, who is like your overworked, paranoid, overconfident field medic. And for the voice, I picked Alan Tudyk. Now, obviously, Alan Tudyk is known for like these crazy, out of their voices, but he does have some material that has that kind of that gravitas that I think can be applied to a Ratchet. And for the vehicle, I picked one of the Medcats, the big field medic vehicles that you would probably see in like a army or a SWAT team or whatever, one of those big chunky vehicles. And right alongside Ratchet, I have Red Alert. Now, I actually like the concept of Red Alert being like a gender swap version with kind of like the animated version of Red Alert, who's like carefully persistent, precise, but also paranoid like Ratchet. And the voice for me, I picked Kimberly Brooks. You've definitely heard her. I think the voice I remember her doing is Batgirl, and I want to say Injustice. That's the voice that comes to mind. And for her vehicle mode, I'm going the Learjet. So air med evac vehicles that you see. Next, I have Ultra Magnus on the list. And for me, Ultra Magnus, the poised rule follower, still caring but stuck in his ways. I picked Keith David. I think he has a nice voice, and I'd love to hear him in a Transformers show. I love to hear him in a lot of shows. But I have him as an electric car hauler, like the typical thing you would see Ultra Magnus as. That's the one where I'm going typical. Next, I have RC. So she's like B, she's been the poster child for the sisters between Chromia and Alita 1. She's taken the lead for so many years. And if you want to have Alita 1, I know a lot of people want Alita 1 to get that push. I'd like to have all three in the show, to be honest with you. But RC is headstrong, ideally the younger of the three sisters. And to me, the voice that suits her a lot is Janet Varney. I see RC a lot as Cora, to be honest with you. I don't know a lot about RC, but whenever I see her on the page, I think of Janet Varney. I think of Cora. And I have her as a Honda CBR 500, a bike. This is the one of the sisters that I actually see being a motorcycle. Next, I have Prowl. So he's quiet, commanding, but very observative. He knows what's going around. The personality I get a lot from Prowl whenever I read his comics is like Jay from Training Day, or Jake, not Jay. Jake from Training Day. And the voice that comes to mind is Crispin Freeman. You've also heard him, another Young Justice cast member. He was Red Arrow. I think his voice is perfect for somebody like Prowl. And the vehicle I have him pinned down as is a Hellcat. The police Hellcats that you see, or the police Challengers that you see, that are becoming more common. And the last Autobot we have on the list is Strong Arm. So a lot like Prowl, quiet, untrusting, and the character that comes to mind when I think of Strong Arm is like Judge Anderson from Dredd 2012, the partner of Carl Urban's Judge Dredd. I'd imagine that's how a Strong Arm would be. Now, I don't think she has a lot of media Transformers. My introduction to Strong Arm was from the 2015 RID continuity, or the show, the one that came after Prime. But yeah, but for the voice actor, I actually have a different pick. I have Tawny Plattis, I believe is her name. Now, she does YouTube videos. She's also a voice actress, but I know her from YouTube. And I just wanted to include somebody who's more well known that I haven't seen in a lot of projects. And Strong Arm, to me, fits for her. And for the vehicle mode, I got a Dodge Durango. So the other police vehicle, just the big body version. So that was the entire list I had for the Autobots for right now. I tried to pick a different selection of Autobots that you don't typically see, but still include the ones that you know of or you want to see. I mentioned it earlier, but Optimus Prime to me is going to be Peter Cullen, unless you want to go a different route for whatever reason. But if you can get Peter Cullen to do the voice, get him to do the voice. Yeah, so this was just a fun little video that I put together, just to kind of get the creative juices flowing. But if there's any voice actors or any other characters that you have specific voice actors for, put them in the comments, and put them out there. So yeah, if you have any suggestions, again, put those in the comments. Maybe down the road I'll do Decepticons or Elite Guard or whatever else next. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Hope you have a good one.